In northern New South Wales, we're joined live from Ballina by our reporter Ruby Cornish. Ruby, just describe the conditions there in Ballina where you are.
Good morning, Andrew. Thankfully, not much happened here in Ballina overnight. Residents here will be breathing a sigh of relief as they wake up this morning because despite the warnings, the floodwaters did not reach the CBD. The town was not inundated. Homes and businesses have been spared. The flood siren did not go off. We are standing on the Richmond River at the moment. You can see here next to me, a whole lot of debris has washed down the river, and this is what residents of Ballina are going to have to contend with in the coming days, this massive debris washing down in this brown river. You can also see against the wall there that the flood levels have receded. So yesterday, the water was lapping over the top of that wall. So that gives you some indication of how much it has gone down. About 30 residents in West Ballina were told to evacuate yesterday, but as the floodwaters lapped into their yards. But thankfully, Ballina has fared much better than some other towns up here in the north of New South Wales.
Yeah, Ruby, there was concern there because you speak of those waters coming down the river, obviously, to the river mouth. There was, at the same time, there were also concerns about a very high tide and the two would meet, causing a significant problem. But it seems as though Ballina may have escaped the worst.
Yes, there were concerns that at about 1 a.m. this morning there would be a high tide that would bring with it water that would inundate the CBD, and there was a lot of sandbagging going on. We still see sandbags in place this morning, but it didn't eventuate, and people, the worst is over for residents here. They're all very thankful that they're not experiencing the same as some towns further north.
And you speak of those residents, some 30 that have been evacuated outside of Ballina, more broadly beyond Ballina. What's the situation?
Well, yesterday we visited some towns further north of here, up at Murwillumbah and Burringba. The situation up there is much sadder. At Burringba, we saw residents piling their discarded possessions on the street outside their homes. It was a mixed experience for residents there. Some in low-lying homes have lost everything. Their homes are destroyed. They have no insurance, and they say they're essentially homeless. Some others were luckier. I spoke to one woman, Mel McDonald, who spent 4 hours overnight holding a mattress against her front door with her 4 children under the age of 11 inside, just praying the floodwaters didn't make it in, and she was one of the lucky ones. The floodwaters didn't get in there. Further north, about 20 kilometres north of there at Murwillumbah, there are still evacuation orders in place. The residents there are still without power. There are plenty of people camping out in public places. Access to the CBD should be restored there today as holes in the road are fixed, but certainly a much sadder picture up there.
And Ruby, to get a real sense of the widespread devastation that the aftermath of this cyclone has caused, going into the air to get an aerial view would be the best way to do it. I understand you have been up in the chopper to take a look. Just tell us what you've seen.
That's right. We've been up in the chopper for the past 2 days and we'll be going up again today. Yesterday we flew over Cornish, which was quite a shocking sight. That's where the Richmond and Wilson's rivers meet, and there we saw cows and horses standing in fields that had been completely inundated. They just appeared to be stranded. We saw people visiting each other in boats, just zooming around from veranda to deliver each other supplies. We saw helicopters landing to deliver much needed medical aid to residents there as the whole town had been isolated by floodwaters. Over Lismore was a happier sight because the floodwaters had receded a lot there, but what the floodwater has left behind is just a lot of debris. You know, this brown muddy water has transformed into brown mud, and you can see from the air just the scale of how big this cleanup is going to have to be.
Ruby, thanks very much. That's our reporter, Ruby Cornish in Ballina.
Imagine using a mattress to stave off the floodwaters at your front door.
It's quite a remarkable story, isn't it?